Okay, 7 p.m., the May 9th meeting of the 208 Board of Education. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The roll call, please.
Mr. Durkin?
Here.
Ms. Gasko? Ms. Ruska?
She just stepped out, I believe. Oh, she's here.
Present. Ms. Fox?
Here.
Mr. Dunhart?
Here.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
And Ms. Ennis?
Here. Do we have any visitor statements here this evening? Please. Come on up and announce your name. I'm going to read a brief statement before you get started. The Board of Education welcomes and encourages the participation of its citizens in its business of the school district. There are 2 points in the meeting where visitor statements are scheduled. Citizens are welcome to raise questions or make comments at either one. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual and cannot be combined. Please note, the Board of Education will not answer questions or engage in dialogue during visitor comments. If a person would like additional time to address the board, such a request should be submitted in writing 48 hours before the meeting to the superintendent.
Just real quick. Dear Riverside Brickfield High School Board of Education Administration, I thought about writing
Quickly, you
this
need to be on
letter.
the microphone so we can pick you up with the
Do I?
cameras. Is that
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Apologies,
Being
thank
loud.
you.
No,
Please
sorry.
tell us your name and then start from the top.
sorry.
Thank
Cindy
you.
Reynolds.
Thank you.
And I've thought about writing this letter a bunch of times to express my thanks and support for the experience my daughter had here at Riverside Brickfield High School. My daughter, Haley Rayfield, class of 2021, is now a rising junior at Ithaca College, which is a music school in New York. She's working on a double major in music education and vocal performance. Haley's career and life's direction was largely shaped and influenced by the experiences she had here at RB. There's no way she would have found her love of music and theater without the inspiration, guidance, and support of her choir teachers, in particular here at Miss Aubrey Prince. I don't have a musical background, and although I encouraged her to pursue what she loves without the leadership and mentorship of Mrs. Prince and other RB music educators, I doubt that she would have realized her passion for music and theater. So as teachers make a difference, they must possess certain personality traits, but they also need time to plan, coach, and lead students, much of which happens outside the classroom. So it's unfortunate that the pandemic is still impacting enrollment numbers, but with programming, this shouldn't be a long-term issue. Anyway, I just want to, again, reiterate my sincere appreciation for the positive and rewarding Music and Theater Foundation my daughter was able to get here, and as a result of her experience, she began college poised, confident, and certain of her future. So I, along with the rest of the community, appreciate your continued support of the music and theater programs at RB. It makes a difference.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lisa Janunas. I am a parent at RB. I'm sure you've seen my face before because it's my third time coming here, around the same time every year. I'm a music department parent, a dedicated volunteer, and a music sponsors board member. I'm here tonight to express my extreme disappointment in the possible loss of our wonderful choir teacher, Kaylee Smetana, after only 2 years, and also in the lack of communication from this administration in regard to this matter. I can anticipate that your response to her reduced role will be low enrollment or lack of interest in choir classes, after which I can remind you again about how our numbers are still recovering from the pandemic years when music classes were all but stopped. But this is my third consecutive year sitting in front of you beating this drum. You already know that the fine arts are still suffering. I can point to the 3 sold-out nights of the spring musical Grease, of which Miss Smetana was the vocal director, or the 19 choir students chosen to participate in the ILMEA District 1 Festival, the 5 students chosen for All-State, who she guided through the rigorous audition process, or the wildly popular a cappella groups that she founded last year and continues to support in the early morning hours before school. These artistic accomplishments bring prestige and accolades to RB and the wider community, leading to the program's growth and student enrichment. And much of that is due to Ms. Matana's guidance these past 2 years. Does that count for anything? What upsets me the most is that no one from the administration came to a music sponsors meeting to discuss the enrollment matter with us. In fact, attendance from the administration has been spotty all year. This to me shows the lack of interest in the health of the RB music department. We heard about the possible loss of Ms. Matana through rumor and speculation, whispers among parents and teachers in the hall after a concert. We weren't given the chance to respond or prepare our kids for a cut in the music classes offered next year, or possibly not having a choir at all. What are the criteria for a music class to be offered? How many students need to enroll to make a class viable? None of this was communicated to the parents. Many of our kids have prepared, auditioned, and signed up for choir expecting to have Ms. Matana as their teacher, but they will be disappointed. Has anyone bothered to tell the incoming freshmen about this change in plans? The situation is unfortunate when so many kids pour their souls into making music at this school. The loss of a dedicated choir teacher will be a big blow to this department. And we are lucky to have Mr. Loeb and Mr. Baum next year to pick up the pieces. But our numbers are growing again. Will there be the breadth of classes available to the kids coming into the program that we had in the past? How are we expected to build up the music department and provide a stable environment for those kids who want to pursue music when every year we are confronted with a teacher crisis? I hope for the sake of all the music-loving kids in this community that we can work together in the near future to come up with a long-term plan to provide robust music education, including choir, for the students at RB. I'm ready to dig in when you are. Sincerely, Lisa Janunas.
Thank you. Is there any additional public comment this evening? Thank you both. Seeing none, we can move on to discussion information items and the FOIA requests received by the district.
We had 6 FOIA requests. Sherry Reed, Smart Procure. We get these about every 3 months, requesting purchase orders, dates, line item details. We got another one from Finishing Chicago requesting the air handling bid tabulations. Vince SB Local Labs providing district's current mission statement and any previous copies of mission statement. Data Research Partners LLC, access to any copies of listing of RBHS employees' first and last names, basically employee directory. One from the U.S. Navy requesting information on juniors and seniors enrolled and looking for their name, email, mailing address, phone number, and present grade. And then another FOIA from the University of Kentucky, also requesting directory information on the students.
Were there any questions on those?
No questions were submitted.
Then we can move on. Consent agenda. We have 2 items on the consent agenda, 1 item on the consent agenda tonight, 2 items. The minutes from the meeting on April 11th and the 25th, and then textbook adoptions. Does anyone request to have those taken out of consent? Seeing none. Bill, would you be so kind as to read that? I can get right here. Right here.
The Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois, takes the following action on the listed consent agenda items. Approves minutes from the meetings held on April 11th and 25th, 2023, open and closed. Textbook adoptions as presented in the May 9, 2023 Board Agenda Packet.
Second.
And a second from Mike Welch, and I believe it's all in favor.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Consent calendar passes. Old business, do we have anything under life safety, capital improvement, sustainability?
So we will be starting construction right after school gets out. So we'll leave life safety on here in the event that we have any change orders or any things that need to come through for the board this summer. I think once
this project is completed this summer and final payouts are made in September, October, then we could probably move life safety, any other additional life safety updates to whether it's the facility report or Dr. Smetana's report during the COW.
Okay. Thank you. We also had the ATI physical therapy contract. We had some discussion on that last month. Are there any additional questions?
I did not receive any additional questions. Dr. Smetana, would you like to provide any additional information?
The contract has been updated with the agreed upon changes. We are still going back and forth with ATI regarding just one term in the contract that wasn't resolved. It's very minor, so I was going to ask the board if they would consider approve it pending legal counsel review, so that hopefully we can shore that up this week after we have board approval.
Are there any objections from anyone?
That is still the 2-year though.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Can you do the resolution?
ATI Physical Therapy Athletic Trainer Contract. The Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois, approves the contract with ATI pending legal counsel review as presented in the May 9, 2023 Board Agenda Packet.
Second.
We have a second from Mr. Welch. And could you need a roll
Roll
call?
call?
Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Ms. Black?
Yes.
Mr. Van Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
And Ms. Salas?
Yes. Under new business, we have payment of bills.
There were no questions submitted tonight on the bills.
Payment of bills. The Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois, approves the payment of bills as presented in the May 9, 2023 Board Agenda Packet.
Second.
Mr. Ms. Black?
Yes.
Mr. Van Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
And Ms. Salas?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
You have 6? You're good? The next matter for new business is a proclamation regarding the results of the April 4th, 2023 school board election. The Cook County Clerk, having completed a canvass of all votes cast for School District 208, certifies the following vote totals. For full term, 4 years, we have William Durkin with 2,073, Laura Haruska with 1,845, Nicholas Novak with 2,182, and Deanna Zalis with 2,198. For the unexpired term vacancy for 2 years, we have Carolyn Locke with 2,836. Ryan, could you read that resolution?
Yes.
Since you
Whereas-
read it.
Whereas on the 4th day of April 2023, there was held in and for Township High School District Number 208, Cook County, Illinois, commonly known as Riverside Brookfield Township High School, an election for the purpose of electing 4 members to the Board of Education for full terms and 1 member to the Board of Education for the unexpired term vacancy, and whereas the said election has been called and held as provided under the election laws, and the returns of said election have been examined and recorded by the Cook County Clerk's Office in accordance with the Illinois Election Code. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Education of Township High School District Number 208, Cook County, Illinois, Section 1, that this Board of Education accepts the certificate of results prepared by the Cook County Clerk's Office, and Section 2, that the following were elected to membership of the Board of Education for full terms and 1 expired term vacancy, and per provisions of the election code will be seated at the May 9, 2023 board meeting. Full terms, 4 years, William Durkin, Laura Haruska, Nicholas Novak, Deanna Zalis. For the unexpired term vacancy of 2 years, Carolyn Locke. All in,
We do need a second.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Welch. And that's an all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Dr. Skinkis.
Recognition of outgoing board members. On behalf of the school district and the Board of Education, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mike Welch. Mike did 8 years for the school board from 2009 to 2017. And we recently had a vacancy in September of 21, and Mike volunteered to step up for 20 months and fill that vacancy and also run again this April. But on behalf of the school district, the Board of Education, and the community members of District 208, we'd like to thank you for your service, your constant advocacy of the programs at RB, doing what's right for students, and being a fiscal watchdog for the community. So we appreciate all your support and the time and effort that you gave to the board. And on behalf of that, here's a copy of the resolution that I would ask for a board member to read tonight.
Thank you. We'll pause for a picture there quickly. So I'll read the resolution, then we can have fellow board members make comments as appropriate. Whereas Michael J. Welch served as a member of the Board of Education of the Riverside Brookfield Township High School, District Number 208, Cook County, Illinois, from September 2021 to May 2023, and whereas he gave conscientiously and generously of his time and energies during that time, whereas he served with dedication and great distinction and gave outstanding service to the faculty, staff, administration, students, and community. Now, therefore, be it resolved by this Board of Education of Riverside Brookfield Township High School, District Number 208, Cook County, Illinois, that this expression of esteem and appreciation of Michael J. Welch and the great benefits which have accrued to the school by reason of his unselfish service be incorporated in the minutes of this meeting of said board, and a signed copy of this resolution be presented to Michael J. Welch. And the Board of Education, in witness whereof, do hereunto affix our signatures and seal at Riverside, Illinois, this 9th day of May 2023. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second for Mr. Durkin. That's an all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Now let's take a chance. Who want to start with our most senior member? Laura, do you want to start with comments?
Well, Mike, you'll be greatly missed. Your acute talent for numbers precedes all of us. That means we are all going to have extra work in your absence. Just having you on board made our board work much easier. Things just popped out to you. You always had the right questions at the right time. Your leadership was so appreciated. And I can't thank you enough for allowing us to pull you out of retirement during when we had the vacancy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Van Horst?
I won't call you cute, but I will say it's been truly appreciated as we underwent a search for a person to come in and fill the position. Your eyes were valuable, and your knowledge of the history of this district and what has gone on has been invaluable for us to make sound decisions. You have hawkish eyes that see everything on every board packet, and it's been a pleasure working with you. So I will miss your eyes on that board packet, and like Laura said, we will all have to turn it up a little bit just to make sure we're filling in for you. So thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll say, Mike, I think the community owes you and the team that you ran with many years ago in turning the district around. There was a lot of issues at the time, and you guys had to make a lot of tough decisions, but you got us into financial, fiscal responsibility and stability, and we owe a great amount of thanks to you and some of your fellow people that you served with over the years in getting us to where we're at today. So you're going to be greatly missed, and I hope never to see you on a witness stand where you're cross-examining me in your day-to-day job, but I always got to throw that wisecrack in there.
Yes.
So.
Yes, thank you.
Carolyn?
Yeah, it's only been 6 months. I've enjoyed sharing this space with you and learning from you, so I hope to keep my eye on the fiscal numbers in your absence. I think I've been looking forward to learning how to do that as well as you did, so thank you for your mentorship.
Thank you.
So I would just say, Mike, I think my colleague summed it up very well, but obviously your financial expertise and your knowledge of district operations have been unparalleled. So thank you very much for bringing that to the table. And I think your quiet leadership on board matters was truly appreciated by me, and it will be missed. So thank you very much for your extended service and coming back and doing this period of time as well. So
Thank you.
a round of applause for
Comments, Mike?
Well, I leave after serving 8 years and 20 months over 14 years. I have my name on 2 buildings, this building and the other building. I know when I first started, there was fiscal problems here. We were running a structural deficit, which meant we were spending more than we were bringing in. And through careful consideration as we move forward, we hired Dr. Skinkas, and since that time, we have 3 doctors on staff, right? 3? And we're in a great fiscal position right now. I asked Dr. Smetana to give you something that shows where our debt is, and you'll have to learn that there is an opportunity to have debt in order to have future debt if needed. So your life safety is coming up in next year, and there might be some life safety debt that we have to do that to keep our staff and our students safe. And so I leave here, leaving the school in this district in a better place than when I came in. And I'll just leave it at that. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
You get to walk away?
You get to walk away. Don't stay on next time.
I think I turned in everything I needed to turn in, so I'm good to go.
Ms. Nardi is very clever and will find you if you didn't.
Yes.
So next, we have to administer the oath of office to the new board members. So, Mr. Novak, if you could come forward. They're going to probably stay by their seats, so if you'd like to come by the seat over here where Mr. Wells just vacated. All the new board members, you should have a yellow script here. Gloria, it's you as well. And so this is the oath of office, so if we start on cue, let's, if you could read together. Obviously, you're going to all put your own names in where it says name, okay? All right, here we go. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3.
I, Candace Novak, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Riverside Brookfield Township High School, District 208, in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois, to the best of my ability.
I further swear
Let's try to do this. I further swear that
I shall respect taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets. I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion of my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board, while respecting the privacy of students and employees. I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual, and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting. I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels. As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district. I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for Riverside Brookfield Township High School District 208. I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework. I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement in all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law. I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students in our community school to advance the vision for Riverside Brookfield Township High School District 208. And I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
Thank you and welcome, board members. Let's have a round of applause.
you want me to hand out part 2 of that oath?
It's a long oath.
Mr. Novak, I know you have family here. Do you want to, are they staying for the rest of the meeting? Do you want a picture?
I'm sure they're staying.
I'm sure they're
Are you gonna
ecstatic. Matt, Nick, I'm sure they're ecstatic, right?
Because I think my son is leaving.
Yeah, come on.
It's a general Chromebook. Right here on the file.
Okay. This is new. Yeah, is that from the county clerk? It is. I wouldn't have called it. Okay.
That's new.
We need to appoint a temporary board president.
Okay.
Temporary.
So I would move to appoint Ryan Van Horst as temporary president, and I move to appoint Mary Ann Nardi as temporary secretary. Any discussion of those matters?
Oh, you don't need a second for that, you're not moving.
No, I'll make the resolution now, and you can second it then. Resolved that the Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois hereby appoints Ryan Van Horst as a temporary president and Mary Ann Nardi as temporary secretary of the Board of Education. Laura, do you want a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to nominate Deanna Zalis as board president. That's for the office of president of the board.
Second. Or will anyone second that? Do I have to?
I can second it.
Are there any other? Bill, would you like to read the resolution?
Resolved that Deanna Zalis, a member of the Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois, be and is hereby declared elected to the office of president of said Board of Education for a 2-year term.
So now you need a second.
Second.
Second, Carolyn Locke. We need a roll call on this, Mary
We
Ann.
need discussion.
If there's any discussion.
Oh, is there any discussion on this? Okay,
Ready?
go ahead and roll call.
Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes?
Ms. Slack?
Yes.
Mr. Benhurst?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Mr. Welch is not here, no, it's Mr. Novak.
Mr. Novak?
Yes.
And Ms. Salas?
Yes. Thank you all very much for your support. I appreciate it. I would nominate Lorena Gasca for the office of vice president. You know, she is not here this evening, but she did indicate to me her interest in serving further as vice president.
I will second that.
Second by Ryan Van Horst.
Any discussion? No? And we
I'm
need a
a
roll
little-
call.
We had a good reason that we weren't here tonight, or?
Um,
It's just disappointing that on the reorganization, you're not here for your nomination.
I agree. I'd like to see a full
Yeah.
head count whenever we can all get together. So she indicated she had a family matter that arose.
Okay.
We have a roll call, please?
Ms. Ruska?
Yes?
Ms. Slack?
Yes.
Mr. Benhurst?
Yes.
Mr. Novak?
Yes.
Ms. Salas?
Yes.
And Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
And election of board secretary. I nominate Mary Ann Nardi for the office of secretary.
Second.
Second by Ryan Van Horst.
Could you read that resolution, please?
Yes. Resolved that the compensation of the Secretary of the Board of Education as a non-member be established at the current rate of $7,500 for each year of the 2-year term, and that Mary Ann Nardi, a non-member of the Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois, be and is hereby declared elected to the office of Secretary of said Board of Education for a 2-year term.
Second.
A second from Ms. Locke, and I do believe we need a roll call for that as well.
Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Ms. Slack?
Yes.
Mr. Benhurst?
Yes.
Mr. Novak?
Yes.
Yes. So thank you, Mary Ann, for all that you continue to do for us. We're going to move on to additional board business. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything on the agenda here. I want to affirm the regular and committee of the whole meeting dates 2023 to 2024 on the school board meeting calendar.
So sticking with our trend that has been for the last several years, 6 months, we'll have a committee of the whole, and 6 months, we'll only have one board meeting. Primarily, the months that only have one meeting are in July, August, November because of Thanksgiving, December because of the holidays, and then March because of spring break. Second Tuesday, and then on the committee of the whole meetings, when we do have one, it's the fourth Tuesday of the month.
Isn't that 5 months?
It's June also. June
June
is at the end
as
of the
well, I'm sorry.
calendar.
There should be 6 total,
Yeah.
right? Dr. Skinkis, assuming we will approve the board meeting calendar this evening, but then I would ask your indulgence if board members look at their calendars, now that they have a chance to study it, we have a new board member, and provide to Dr. Skinkis any dates that are objectionable to you. We can always look to amend it if need be, well in advance.
Yeah, and it is the practice. I mean, if we need to have at least 4 board members present, sometimes it becomes tight in the summer months, whether it's taking kids back to school or trying to get a family vacation in before school starts or something of that nature. So we do not reschedule a board meeting. We have not rescheduled a board meeting for one board member, but if we have a feeling that there's 2 or 3 board members that there's a conflict, and it is in our best interest with proper notice to just amend that meeting date so that we push it a week back or a week earlier and update that on our website and social media. So just make sure if you are having a conflict or you know you have a planned trip or something, just to let us know sooner rather than later.
My sentiment on that, for 20 years, we've always held our meetings on the second and third Tuesday.
Second and fourth.
Second and fourth, right. And we've never lacked a quorum, even when we had the 100-year flood, even when we had COVID, even when we had the second 100-year flood. So, I mean, I would hope that we would strive to keep those, because once the dates are kind of memorialized, people form their schedules around that.
Oh, I don't disagree. I just think I know that there's at least one board member who has some planned absences. So if there's others that have additional absences and we're not going to reach a quorum, I'd like to make sure we can address it well in advance. But
Oh, yeah, one, it's okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
Haven't missed one yet.
yeah,
okay. So that was just, if anyone has
yeah.
3 of them they can't make for some reason, just as long as we tell Kevin, and if we need to change it, I hear what you're saying. I don't think there's any reason to change them necessarily, but in case people have other schedules and.
Yeah, we need 4 board members to be out in order to be in danger of not having a quorum.
Correct.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Okay.
We have a suggested motion.
We need a suggested motion on this one. Bill, do you mind keeping reading these?
Sure.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Additional organizational affairs. Affirm regular and committee of the whole meeting dates 2023-2024, school board meeting calendar. The Board of Education, Township High School, District 208, Cook County, Illinois, affirms the regular and committee of the whole meeting dates for the 2023-2024 school board calendar as presented in the May 9th, 2023 Board of Agenda packet.
Do we have a second?
Second.
A second from Mr. Van Horst. And is that a roll call or?
All in favor?
All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Seeing no objections, moving on to authorization for signatories for impressed account and financial reports. Do you want to explain this briefly?
Again, it's just a formality that we have the assistant superintendent as official signatories of the district in the absence of one or the other when we have to sign checks or official statements with our banks and those types of matters.
Would you mind reading the motion, please, Bill?
Sure. Authorization of signatories for impressed account and financial reports. The Board of Education, Township High School, District 208, Cook County, Illinois, hereby affirms the authorization of the Assistant Superintendent and the Superintendent as signatories for impressed account and financial reports for the 2023-2024 school year as presented in the May 9th, 2023 Board of Agenda packet. All in favor?
We need a second,
Oh.
quickly. We have a second, please?
Second.
A second from Mr. Van Horst. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Item C, authorization of signatories for board in addition to president and secretary.
Again, this is a formality that affirms the authorization of the vice president as a signatory in the absence of the president on official minutes or district documents.
The Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois hereby affirms the authorization of Vice President as a signatory for the Board, in addition to the President and Secretary as presented in the May 9, 2023 Board Agenda Packet. All in favor?
We need a second. A second?
Did that again.
That's why we're all here. It's a second from Mr. Van Horst. All in favor?
Aye.
No objections. We can move on to the designation of district newspapers.
So every 2 years when we organize the board, we always identify 2 newspapers to use for our bid, we put out our bid notifications, budget notifications, levy notifications, and so that will be the Suburban Life newspaper and the Landmark newspaper.
The Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois hereby designates the Suburban Life newspaper and the Landmark newspaper as the newspapers of record for District 208 as presented in the May 9, 2023 Board Agenda Packet.
Second.
Second from Mr. Van Horst.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And the designation of district depository.
This is, the district every 2 years has to formally adopt that the First American Bank of Riverside will serve as our official depository.
Board of Education.
And the Republic Bank of Chicago and Berwyn, Illinois as well, I'm sorry.
Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois appoints the First American Bank, Riverside, Illinois, and Republic Bank of Chicago, Berwyn, Illinois, as the depositories of record for the District 208 as presented in the May 9, 2023 Board Agenda Packet.
Second.
We have a second
All
from
in
Mr.
favor?
Van Horst. All in favor? I'm sorry, look at
Aye.
this, Katie.
Aye.
I got something. I apologize. All in favor? Aye. No objections? Thank you. And then Superintendent's Advisory Councils, Dr. Skinkis.
This is for your information item. The superintendent uses the advisory council model to assist with the development and implementation of district programs, projects, and initiatives. As the superintendent, I will request board members to attend and participate along with members of my administration and staff to help us bring reports to the board, provide recommendations to the board, and to help operate the district. So on the advisory councils, I try to update these every 2 years, and so I've highlighted changes in yellow. So for personnel, I'm looking to Mr. Durkin and Mr. Van Horst to serve on the Personnel Council. Technology and curriculum will be Mr. Van Horst and Ms. Gaska. Finance would be Ms. Zalis and Ms. Locke. Policy would be Ms. Gaska and Ms. Locke. I'm asking Ms. Haruska and Mr. Novak to be on facilities. And then the purchase, lease of land, and our insurance renewals will be Mr. Durkin and Ms. Zalis.
And there's
again,
no
that's
action
no
needed here.
action on that item.
And as a refresher, and this is something we can talk about under new business in terms of the board's rules of engagement, but how often do these councils normally meet?
The Policy Council may meet up to 4 times a year, usually on a quarterly basis. Finance will meet now in the spring with the development of the budget, and we'll meet one more time before the development of the levy, and possibly one time for financial projections. So that one's roughly 3 times a year. Facilities, anywhere between once and twice. So we'll need a facility meeting this summer to approve the rental agreement and just have an update on how the projects are going. And then we'll usually meet again somewhere in the fall or early winter to wrap up summer projects and how things went and what's on the future horizons for facility. Technology and curriculum usually meets at least once a year when we're talking about the curriculum guide. And if there's any new classes in the spring looking to be adopted for the future curriculum guide. Personnel is on an as needed basis, excuse me. Predominantly we do that in March around staffing when we start getting enrollment numbers for classes and projected staffing numbers. I think I covered all of them, correct? Purchase lease of land is if we have any developments with the zoo or any other entities in regards to land and the district expanding their footprint, which is part of a board goal. And insurance renewals are usually once a year.
Okay, were there any questions from the board on these?
No, and then just for additional organization, I'd like to continue being our representative with the IASB.
Okay, does anyone have any objection to that?
No.
No? Okay.
We forgot to make a spot for it.
Well, I don't think we need to officially authorize it.
Well, we have to designate one person because during the.
Typically before the
Yeah.
For the meeting, we
Yeah.
have a
Mhm.
delegate,
Right.
and then, yeah.
So I think
And we have a
we can
point
take
person.
formal action then maybe before the November meeting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
once you authorize something, then I will
Yeah.
get communications whenever there's like meetings or like they have the organization meeting in June.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we can make a quick motion now. My motion to designate Laura Haruska as the representative from the Board of Education 208 on the Illinois Association of School Boards, IASB, as the representative from this Board of Education.
I need to pause,
Yes.
just to stay formal, we're not technically supposed to take a vote on anything not listed on the agenda.
Right.
Fair
So
point.
let's put that on a
Okay.
future agenda.
We can do that.
Just to be safe.
Because it's not truly a
It's
vote
not a
that's
formal,
needed,
right,
right?
it's not an it's not
Yeah.
organizational, it's just,
Okay,
is there any volunteers?
appreciate
You can say,
that.
are there any volunteers to serve as our delegate to the IASB?
are there any volunteers? Yes, okay.
Are there any
So we'll put that as
objections?
a future item
There you
then.
go.
We can make it more formal at that point. Okay. Moving on to additional new business, the PACE Municipal Vehicle Program.
Kristen introduced this last month. Do you want to provide an update, Kristen?
Sure. So as I talked about last month, PACE offers a program through their municipal vehicle program. And under this program, the district would be eligible to receive 2 vans for student transport. One would be equipped with a lift and could accommodate 7 students. That would replace the old minibus with a lift that was donated to the district approximately 12 years ago. The other van would hold 10 people. Each van would require a $500 deposit and $100 a month, and the maintenance of the vans is included in the price of using the vans. Drivers would need to complete a training program through PACE. In order to participate in the program, several forms must be completed, and a few policies must be adopted by the Board of Education on an annual basis. So the items that I've included in the board packet include their SSEP, which is their System Security and Emergency Preparedness Plan. This is PACE policies and procedures regarding responses to emergencies while driving the vans, and also it includes driver requirements. PACE provided drug and alcohol testing policy. This is a testing policy for approved drivers as well as our designated transportation coordinator. The municipal vehicle program agreement, which is the terms of the program as well as our application. And then the last thing is FTA certifications and assurances in order to participate in this program. This program operates under a federal grant, and so unfortunately, there's not a lot of wiggle room we're going to have in being able to modify these documents, but nevertheless, the district's legal counsel has reviewed them, and I sent the feedback to PACE, and we're working with them to see if any language changes can be accommodated. So at this point, it's just a first read. Hopefully, we'll have some additional direction at the next board meeting and can adopt it at that point.
That is the most robust document I've
That's
ever
a very-
seen.
It's the FTA. They like to step into those things.
70-something pages.
There's
Did you need a signature from the board president on something tonight? Was this related to this, or is
No,
that?
that was in regards to life safety, the building permit.
Okay, thank you.
So this is first read, and we'll take a motion on it at the next meeting. Okay. And what's the effective date? I feel like I read that, and now, is it to be effective with the start of the fall term?
So after all of these things were approved and we submitted them, we would wait to get confirmation that we were accepted into the program. Hopefully, we would get the drivers trained over the summer and the vans delivered so that we could use them in August.
Any additional questions or discussion on the PACE Municipal Vehicle Program? No? Okay, and that's first read, thank you. Visitor statements, is anyone else here wish to make a statement? In support of your family? Okay. Okay, seeing none. Consideration of items for future meetings. I think we have the IASB matter is one. I had a couple of others, but I want to open it up to anyone else's suggestions.
So I didn't see a place on here, but I do see matters for closed session coming up quickly. So are we going to have a recognition of our outgoing student board members and.
Next month.
Next meeting,
month.
yeah,
You
next
still have
meeting.
another?
Yes.
One more meeting.
One more
Next meeting.
Yeah, at the end of the month.
To the bitter end.
Yes. Anything else for anyone for future reference? I had a couple of comments I'd like us to talk about at a future meeting. The board rules of engagement, I would ask Dr. Skinkis to include it in the Friday packet so board members, both new and old, can review it and make any suggested edits, and we can have a discussion at our next meeting or the June meeting, depending on how our timing works out. Mr. Novak, for your background, those are just some kind of a no surprises directive, and it talks about, reading the packet before and providing questions so that the administration can respond, and then responding to media and that type of thing. So it probably is due for an update. I think we haven't looked at it in a couple years, so we can do that at one of our next meetings. And then we only have one new board member, but I would ask any of my colleagues if they're interested in serving as a mentor for the new board member. We do have that provision in our policy to ask someone to mentor. So I would look at either Laura or Caroline as probably the longer serving members.
Yeah, I'd be willing to if.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. So maybe we'll move your seats around and put you guys next to each other or something.
Yeah, doesn't matter, right? We could.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, I'll sit anywhere.
Okay. So those are my two items. We don't need to take any formal action on that, but I think we can do an email introduction and go from there. Anything else for anyone else? Consideration of items? Seeing none, we are going to prepare for closed session. Matters for closed session include appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body, student discipline, individual student matters, purchase, sale, or lease of real property, probable imminent or pending litigation, collective negotiations, and school safety. Do we have a motion, please, Mr. Durkin?
Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois, enters closed session for the purpose of considering the closed session matters as presented in the May 9, 2023 Board Agenda Packet.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second for Mr. Van Horst.
Roll call.
Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Ms. Black?
Yes.
Mr. Van Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Novak?
Yes.
And Ms. Davis?
Yes. Okay, 7:47.